All right, guys, so we've got a complete rebuild here on a MS200T. We're going to need to do a new cylinder, new piston rings, the whole workup. I've started disassembling it, and from here we are going to continue on together. So a lot of this was just bolt-on stuff, nothing too crazy, okay? Remove that side cover, the filter and the carb. That should be pretty, self-explanatory stuff if you're going to try to tackle this job yourself. Remove that exhaust. You got to get the bolts through the bottom to get that out and get yourself to this point. So I'll bring you guys along from here, and be sure to hit subscribe, give me a thumbs up, drop a comment, let me know if it helps you out, and let's get going. All right, guys, so right now I've got the spark plug out. I'm able to look in through the spark plug hole at the cylinder. With my left hand, I'm spinning that flywheel so I can see that piston when it's on the upstroke. I want it to come up, and then I'm going to go ahead and take this rope, fish it in the spark plug hole, and kind of press it down in. I'm not trying to push the piston down at all with the rope. I just want to fill the gap. Now, you don't want the piston all the way up. You just want it on the upstroke when you do this. So then when you go to take that off, it's going to compress, and you're able to get the nut off that's holding the flywheel on. All right, guys, we're going to use a 13 millimeter socket. Getting that on a socket wrench here. So that's going to fit here on the clutch side. All right, now that our rope is in on the upstroke, I believe it was, we're going to be able to twist it forward there, okay? Because this side is a reverse thread. All right, and it's going to pull everything off because we got to get in here and remove all this so we can get the motor out of this thing. Now, when we get back to the flywheel side right here, you're going to lift up because this is a regular thread, right? So it goes counterclockwise. The other side goes clockwise to remove. This side is counterclockwise to remove. Get it loosened up, and then, right, twist it up some, but twist it back down. So it's almost, you can see here we got a couple threads. We've got to get that flywheel off the shaft. It doesn't just pop up. You can't just pull it off. So then you put your socket back on, right? The nut's on almost all the way. Give that socket a tap with the ball peen hammer, loosens it up, take it out. Everything should just come apart for you. Okay, so pretty easy. Stick it all together. Next is just a bunch of screws. All right, we're gonna use that T27, the torque bit. Again, I'll have like that extension through Amazon link down below. If you guys want to get one for yourself, shop my links. You help support the channel and what I'm doing, and I appreciate it. So I'm gonna kind of speed this stuff up though, just removing screws. All right, next, saw's upside down on the bottom. There's going to be 2 screws right here up toward the front of the saw. Got to get those out. We already took screws out for the exhaust earlier. Well, I don't know if I got it on video, but once you get those 2 front screws out and your exhaust has already been removed, you're onto like this part. Fish that line through a little bit. The intake boot, not much. And then just kind of separate it. Now that intake, that line right there, that impulse line, is not the correct line. But yeah, we'll replace it later. So anyway, boom, separation. So this saw is a full rebuild. I'm not worried about cleaning it up right now, but we are going to separate the cylinder. All right, that's what I'm doing here. There's 4 bolts. Again, it's T27. That's what you're gonna need. Pour those 4 bolts out and separate that cylinder from the lower half. Boom, piston pops out. This is why, like I said, this is all getting replaced. It'll all get rinsed and washed. I'm not worried about the debris on the outside here. Top of that piston was jacked. So was the inside of that cylinder. They're just rough shape. Now, if you're going to be rebuilding stuff, I recommend having some different containers like I got here. You can label them for like where nuts and bolts go and parts and all that. But now we're just kind of getting in here and we're going to just start removing all the screws. I mean, I want a total disassembly of this thing. I mean, I want this thing pretty much completely tore down because I want to clean it all up. I want to have it as new as looking as possible when I'm done with this job. And that's just, that's just what I'm going to do. I mean, we could just pop a new cylinder and piston on there and be done with it, but I'm going to separate the whole housing. We're going to put a new seal in there. So that means all this has to come out anyway. Plus, might as well just, you're already going this far, might as well just tear the whole thing down and basically hand the customer back something that looks as close to a new unit as possible. Now, some of these screws are hidden. I had a tricky one that was hiding on me. So when you're in there removing screws, it's kind of why I'm pointing around there. Look for all of them, okay? Also, if you hear the buzzing in the background, that is the ultrasonic cleaner. That's pretty nice to clean up parts and things like that, especially if you're going to do several jobs like this. I'll have one linked, obviously, in the description. If you want one, order it. I appreciate it. So the bearings on this saw were still in excellent shape. What I'm doing is I'm tapping through to tap the seal out. You can do this using screwdriver and whatnot. You want to try not to smack the bearing. You want to try to just catch the edge of the seal and just tap your seals through. So this is the OEM kit. That's the number that we're going to put in. That's new seals, new gaskets, all that kind of stuff. So if you want one through Stihl, there's your part number. So I already scraped the heat shield piece off right there. That's the new one. I already scraped, cleaned it all really good, and then now we're just putting the new one in, just to help reflect heat from like melting the plastic and stuff. So definitely, I definitely think it's a good idea to put that back in. It comes in the kit anyway, so I think it comes in the kit. Maybe I got it separate. Either way, it needed it. Put it on. Just using brake clean. Kind of put everything through the wash already, and then just using the brake clean to get any stuff that didn't come out. To do this job, you're probably gonna go through a full bottle of brake clean, maybe 2. Just clean everything up really, really well before reassembly. Figured take a quick look at the new cylinder compared to the old cylinder. You can see it all smacked up in there. And that thing is done. It's all scratched up the sides as well. New piston, old piston. So this is why we're doing a rebuild. Also, here's your stock number for a new piston cylinder kit from Stihl. Okay, this setup, this was in the kit. All right, everything you need as far as you get a piston, a cylinder, you get whatever the heck that is. You get the new stuff anyway to put it all back together. I'm gonna actually just use the Ultra oil here, put it in a cap, and I will use this to kind of lubricate all those new parts as I put them in. All right, any bearings, kind of wad it in there, and any of the other moving parts, get a dab of that, and kind of get them all greased up so they're ready to go. After a little oil, put that bearing top of the crank, take your piston, put it on. Now this is important. All right, flywheel side right there, it's the flywheel side. The other side's the sprocket side. Hold it in your hand just like this and put that piston on so the arrow is pointing away from you. Okay, that's going to be the exhaust side. Hopefully that makes sense. That's what you want to do. Pop that little shaft in there, and you're going to put a little C-ring, little spring clamp, little spring thing, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. You'll see it in a minute. We'll get that popped in. There, guys. Here's that little snap ring there I just showed you. So what you want to try to do is get one side kind of down in a little bit. You're going to use a screwdriver, and you're going to try to like push it in, and you just got to finagle this thing in place. Have fun, and good luck. There, right here, just taking some of that oil, getting it down in right there, right? Because we sprayed this all down with brake clean, getting all the oil out. So now we're just re-oiling that stuff, okay? Putting this back together. Pay attention in your mind. Look at that body, right? This clamshell. Make sure you're putting these in on the correct side. Just kind of, you got to pay attention here. One side's for your flywheel, one side's for your clutch. So you really got to be putting the piston and the crank and all that in correctly, okay? So just pay attention. I know I might not talk you through every single step. I like to think the video is pretty self-explanatory, right? When you see these things, wire for the ignition coil needs to go through this rubber grommet. You got to do that because that's got to get fished through the motor housing. You know, some of you are probably sick of hearing my voice, but hopefully you're doing well with that rebuild. I really do enjoy comments. Let me know how it works for you. Obviously, the outcome can be different for everybody if you're not careful and clean and whatever, So you do this stuff, I wish y'all good luck with it, because if you miss a step, you put things in backwards, you don't do things right, you end up with headaches. So just kind of getting that fish through into the body. I like to use a screwdriver. Now, just keep in mind, this screwdriver has no hard edges. It's been rounded off. It's been sanded smooth, so there's nothing sharp to cut any wiring or any rubber grommets. I use that just to press things in place. It's not used as a screwdriver anymore. It is used specifically to push rubber grommets and wires into place. As we move through this and get back into reassembly, you're going to find out why it's important to have so many little containers to keep all your screws separate. You'll have fine thread, you'll have coarse thread, some will be longer, some will be shorter. Just like installing this ignition coil is going to take screws that aren't going to fit other places. They could be forced in, but it doesn't mean that's where they're meant to go. So label stuff with some masking tape, like where they came out of, put parts together, like just being organized and keeping things organized really is going to help you out a lot. So just keep that in mind. Here, that black wire's got to go through that grommet as well, this first grommet, okay? There's going to be another one, but for now, they both got to go through there and come out the side. Once they're both out the side, you'll have one more grommet. This one, you only put the gray wire through and let that black wire fish up through your seal like this, okay? So they both do not come out in the same spot. The black wire is going to come out this hole. The gray wire kind of comes out, that front area. So just pay attention. Yeah, guys, this is where your organization is going to be important. We got 3 different screws there, different threads and everything. You can't even see what I'm using. So it's up to you to remember which ones go there and where, right? I'm looking at like 6 screws to put in. So let's get this thing reassembled. All right, little sheet here for you to reference, okay? Ignition module crankcase, 4.5 Nm. It's not pounds, all right? And the cylinder will be 10 Nm. If you want a better explanation as to what that is, use the old Google machine, okay? I'm going to torque all this stuff down, though. You should, too. Do the maths. You know exactly what needs to be done. All right, guys. You get 2 seals for mounting this cylinder down on top there. You need to look at them and figure out which one's going to best fit your saw, because there's like a couple different styles and options there. All right, so pick out the one that's going to best fit what you got going on and use that. Next, going to take a little dab of that oil from earlier and put it on the inside of that cylinder. Just kind of get a little bit of coating in there, nothing too awful crazy. And then I'm going to use this kit to compress the rings on the piston. See, I got one there. Again, I'll have a link to this through Amazon if you want to get one of these kits. It's helpful. All right, it's helpful. We're going to backtrack though. When we're sitting here, see the bump out for the motor, right? That my thumb's on, and then you can see the arrow on the piston. Okay, so we want to pay attention as to where all this is going. Backside, front side of motor. Where's the intake? Where's the exhaust? because we need to put that cylinder on facing the proper way. Okay, so the saw sits like this, the exhaust blows down into my hand, right? Which is the same way that arrow points. This is important. We don't want to put the cylinder on backwards. Okay, once you figure that out, hopefully you know what side is the intake and the exhaust on your cylinder. Intake's round, exhaust is square, square side, arrow side, bottom side. Okay, now we're going to go back. We're going to put our little plastic clamps, if you will, over our rings. Now when you're doing this, there's a cut in the ring. See it? That cut needs to line up with that little ball in there, that little notch, if you can see those. Get them lined up the best that you can so they'll squeeze together fully at that junction or at that point. And then you're going to take the clip, you're going to slip her on over, right? Try to keep everything lined up. It's a bit of a pain. So I'm checking that one. That one's where it needs to be. Maybe, maybe not. There we go. Fiddling around here a little. Hold the top ring, sliding that around, getting the other one around where it needs to be. Checking, double checking. Then what I'm going to do is slip this down so it is just below the top of the piston. There is some finagling here. At some point we do that. Let's see here. Come on. It's being a pain in my butt, apparently. It happens. All right. Not everything is a smooth transaction here. See how we got some of the pistons sticking up above? That's what we want. A little bit sticking up so we can start getting that cylinder over. Make sure everything's facing the correct way. And then you're going to kind of start slipping the cylinder down and letting that orange clamp just sort of fall below the crank. That's pretty much the plan. Oh yeah, something that's really important is make sure you left your gasket on. For whatever reason, I had taken mine off. So yeah, put your gasket on. And if you messed up like me, now you get to redo that whole process. We're just going to skip ahead. So make sure your gasket's on properly. Do what we did with the rings on the piston. Get that cylinder on and boom, go forward from there. Hey, looks like I did it right this time. Now get your bolts in there, torque them down like they're supposed to be. I think it was 10 Nm, but you can look it up, go back in the video, I showed you the chart. This is going to be the end of the video though. I'm going to get these torqued. We're going to have a part 2, finishing assembly and firing this up for the first time. So be sure to give me a thumbs up, drop me a comment, and hit subscribe, guys. Kind of been slacking on videos, just looking for more feedback, looking to get those views up. Appreciate you guys. Have an awesome day.